Welcome. In this explainer, we are breaking down the final challenge of your Level 4 Marketing Apprenticeship, the Endpoint Assessment, or EPA. And to make it super clear, we're going to follow the journey of an apprentice named Jody. Let's get into it. Think of this whole thing as the final boss battle of your apprenticeship. It might seem daunting, but don't worry. We're going to map out the entire journey for you so you know exactly what's coming and how to crush it. Every quest needs a team, right? So meet the players. First up, our hero, Jody, the apprentice at IBIS stores. And that's basically you. In her corner, she's got Radal, her manager, and Olivia, her coach from Kent Business College. And then there's Adam. He's the independent assessor from the Chartered Institute of Marketing, and he's the one who'll be grading her final performance. So here's our roadmap for this quest. We're going to cover everything, from the moment the journey kicks off to the final victory lap. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what's coming your way.
Okay, first things first, every great adventure needs a map. So let's zoom out and look at the overall timeline for this whole assessment process.
So after about 16 months of learning on the job, you hit this really important checkpoint called the gateway. Once you pass through it, a 5-month window opens up for you to get all your final assessments done. They've even built in a bit of a buffer, so the max time is 7 months, just in case you need a resit.
So, what does it actually take to get through that gateway? Well, think of it as your official ticket to the main event. You've got to earn it before the final assessments can even begin.
To get that ticket, you've got to check 3 boxes. First, your manager, Riddle, needs to sign off and say, yep, you're ready. Second, you need to have your Level 2 Maths and English qualifications sorted. And finally, you and Riddle will put together and submit a 350-word summary of your big work project for approval. All right, once you're through the gateway, the real quest begins. Now you'll face 3 distinct challenges. They're specifically designed to test everything you've learned, all your knowledge, your practical skills, and your professional behaviors. These are the 3 trials you're going to face, and you have to do them in this exact order. First, a knowledge test. Second, a big project showcase. And finally, a professional discussion. Let's break them down one by one.
Okay, let's talk about challenge number 1. The knowledge test. It's pretty much what it sounds like, a classic multiple choice exam to make sure you've got that core marketing know-how down pat. So here are the stats you need to remember. You're gonna have 90 minutes on the clock, take it through 50 multiple choice questions,
and you've got to score at least a 25 to pass. Now, this is a closed book online exam. And remember, passing this is your ticket to move on to the next and much bigger stage of the quest. Okay, now for the main event. Seriously, this is the biggest and most important part of your EPA. It's where you really get to shine and show off your skills on a real, substantial project you've completed at work, somewhere like IBIS stores. Now, this might sound like a massive task, but don't worry, it's actually broken down into 3 pretty clear parts. First, you write a 3,500-word report on your project. Then you deliver a 10-minute presentation about it, and you wrap it all up with a 20-minute Q&A session with your assessor, Adam. And now for the last hurdle on your quest. This is a structured one-on-one chat with your independent assessor, Adam. It's a 50-minute discussion where you'll get a mix of questions. Some will be competency-based, tell me about a time when, and others will be scenario-based, like, what would you do if? This is your big chance to really showcase those professional behaviors, like being adaptable or creative. So, you've made it. You've conquered all 3 challenges. Now what? How does all that hard work get turned into your final grade? Fail, pass, merit, or distinction?
Okay, this is super important, so listen up. The official guidance makes one thing crystal clear. If you want to get a merit or a distinction overall, you absolutely must get a distinction in the project showcase. That's it. It is the key to unlocking those top grades.
And this table just lays it all out perfectly. To get a pass, you need a pass in all 3 assessments. Simple enough, right? But look, if you're aiming for a merit or a distinction, you can see that getting a distinction in that project showcase is totally non-negotiable. It's the linchpin for getting those higher grades.
Okay, and finally, this is really important. There's a safety net. So let's talk about what happens if something doesn't go perfectly on the first try.
The number one thing to remember here is that a fail is not the end of the road. Not at all. With the support of your manager, Riddle, you can get another shot. You'll get a really clear action plan to help you get ready, and to keep things fair, you'll always get a brand new test with different questions.
And after all that, let's not forget the prize at the end of this quest. Passing your EPA gets you ready for professional recognition as an affiliate member with the Chartered Institute of Marketing, and that is a huge deal for your career.
So there you have it. You've got the map, you know the challenges, and you've got a team with your own Riddle and Olivia to support you. The final quest is all yours. So how are you going to showcase your marketing excellence? It's time to start planning your journey to success.